A career in professional wrestling is tough, time-consuming, and all-encompassing, typically dominating every aspect of the lives of the superheroes that we watch on TV every single week. So much so that the men and women combining wrestling with another career at the same time are probably operating on 48-hour days. And I want to know their secret. I'm Andy from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 8 WWE and AEW wrestlers living fascinating double lives. Number 8. The Butcher. If you're a wrestling fan, you know Andy Williams as The Butcher. He of incredible mustaches, sublime monocles, and some of the beefiest lariats between here and Stan Hansen's ranch. But he is still arguably better known for his time in Every Time I Die, the acclaimed metal / hardcore / southern rock / every other badass genre you can think of band that he formed over 20 years ago. Currently preparing to unleash their 9th studio album, Every Time I Die actually came together when The Butcher suffered a serious knee injury while originally training for wrestling in the 90s. Now, he combines both worlds, living perhaps one of the coolest lives on planet Earth, throwing down hard elbow strikes and hard guitar riffs in equal measure. Number 7. Xavier Woods. There's a huge crossover between pro wrestling and video games, and few people represent that better than Xavier Woods, who combines his role in one of the greatest WWE tag teams / stables of all time, The New Day, with his duties as the host and creator of Up Up Down Down. The two worlds regularly intersect, with other wrestlers joining the show to compete against each other, swapping the squared circle for the digital realm. The show brings people together, commanding thousands and thousands of viewers every single week, because it turns out that Xavier Woods, or Austin Creed, is just a bloody good bloke. Number 6. Dolph Ziggler. One of the most tenured wrestlers on today's WWE roster, Dolph Ziggler has been around in some shape or form since 2004, when he debuted as part of the Spirit Squad. It's fair to say that the former world champion has experienced more than his fair share of highs and lows during this time, but he has earned the kind of longevity that most wrestlers entering the company dream of, even if he hasn't always been pushed to the level that his fans would like. It's fair to assume that Ziggler probably has a busy life in wrestling, but he has at times combined this with a stand-up comedy career as well. Starting off running gigs near WWE venues in 2013, having wanted to enter this world for a long time, Dolph got to the point that he was actually granted time off from WWE to work his own tour after Royal Rumble 2019. So, God forbid, if Dolph is ever released, he'll at least have that as a safety net to fall back on. Number 5. Cody Rhodes. Branching out into mainstream television was probably always on the cards for Cody Rhodes because, he's model good looking, he's charismatic, charming, and has an innate ability to look good in a suit, and it most recently manifested in his role as a judge on The Go Big Show. Serving alongside the likes of Snoop Dogg and Rosario Dawson, it must have been a fun crossover for Cody, who was already leading a double life as an AEW wrestler and an EVP. And on top of this, Cody and wife Brandy are currently filming their own reality series as well, Rhodes to the Top, so I guess he's now living a quadruple life. Oh, and they're about to become parents as well. Quintuple? Quintuple? I don't even know, man, but you know the word. 5 things. He's doing 5 things. I can barely do 1. God, what a man. Number 4. ASUKA. The restrictive third-party platform policy installed by WWE in late 2020 doesn't appear to have slowed ASUKA down, with her YouTube channel Kana-chan TV currently closing in on 500,000 subscribers. But side hustles are nothing new for the former women's champion. She worked as a video games journalist before really taking off in wrestling, writing for the official Xbox magazine, and even designing graphics for the Nintendo DS. On top of this, she owns a hair salon in Yokohama named Another Heaven, has a background in badminton and figure skating, and speaks her native Japanese as well as English, French, German, Spanish, Italian, and Dutch, which, as a person who barely even speaks English, blows my tiny little mind. Fair play to her. Number 3. The Miz. Love him or hate him, The Miz is one of the hardest working people in all of wrestling, not only for the way he built himself up as a former reality TV show guy into a great pro wrestler, but also for excelling on Miz and Mrs. like he does in the squared circle. Television was his background coming into WWE anyway, so this stuff is probably second nature to him. Regardless, it's really impressive that he's able to juggle both worlds so effortlessly, particularly when you consider that he and Maurice have a couple of kids to look after at home as well. The man must never sleep, but maybe that's why Vince McMahon likes him so much. Number 2. Chris Jericho. I mentioned The Butcher earlier in this list, but you can't mention pro wrestling rock stars without bringing up Chris Jericho, who has been dual rolling it in the ring and with his band Fozzy since 1999. These worlds combine effortlessly. Jericho's pro wrestling career started really taking off when he began working towards his goal of bringing a rock star-like personality into the sport, and he's still living that life today, selling records and kicking ass all across the globe. Jericho's also perhaps the most successful pro wrestling podcaster as well, and a former writer for Metal Edge magazine, as well as currently serving as the lead voiceover guy for Vice's Dark Side of the Ring. It's safe to say that when he eventually has to retire from wrestling, he'll be just fine. Number 1. Britt Baker. Replacing Isaac Yankem as pro wrestling's most notable dentist over the past couple of years, the freedom to keep her working dental practice open while still competing as a wrestler has been cited as one of the many reasons why AEW is such a good fit for Britt Baker. That Baker is a dentist is something that AEW has pushed so hard that it actually became a meme pretty early in her run. You all heard the jokes. Hey guys, did you know Britt Baker is a dentist? It's not like they mention it on TV every 2 minutes. Regardless, that she has seemingly achieved mastery in these two separate fields means she has already accomplished more in life than most people who have ever lived. And she's still only 30 years old. Baker's two worlds collided at last year's All Out pay-per-view, when she and Big Swole contested the first ever tooth and nail match inside an actual dental practice. Beyond that, her dual life is pretty much everywhere, from her DMD sign-off to her lockjaw finisher, which she makes look even more painful than the worst cavity or root canal. Anyway guys, so that's our list, but what do you guys think? Can you think of any others? Let us know down in the comment section below. After that, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Then follow us on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE and myself at Andy H. Murray, where you can tell me how wrong I am. Goodbye.